Imagine being the first fintech startup in the country. You have no one to look up to, no one to learn from. You find yourself not just being an entrepreneur, but being a pioneer, a trailblazer. The excitement comes from being the first to start the journey is incomparable. But within that thrill resides a profound burden that shaped the narrative of your journey. That was the position that I was in when I founded BahnJi in 2016, a Cambodian fintech startup dedicated to empower micro, small, and medium-sized enterprise, MSME, in their access to finance through our innovative financial platform. Today, I'm here to share the reflection of my journey and shed light on the unseen burden that I face being a trailblazer in the challenging landscape. First, let's start with the first burden, the burden of my personal expectation. Starting in 2016, amid the excitement and potential of fintech, I felt a tremendous pressure to succeed. Because it's not about just building a startup, but it's also about contributing toward laying the foundation of the entire ecosystem. The burden of being the first involved not just an external pressure, but the internal drive to meet the standard that I set for myself. In the pursuit to make the major impact for my country, I found myself overdoing many things, ultimately achieving very little in the space of the 7 years. The weight of my personal expectation, I took on too much, trying to tackle every challenge and opportunity that come my way. At that time, I believed that by addressing multiple and systematic challenges, I would maximize the chance of success. And that really drive me to experiment various model approach to validate the assumption that using financial statement data would allow MSME to better access to finance. Last year was a defining moment for me, as 70% of my staff left the company. And after a huge funding hurdle, I realized that I need to balance between ambition and practicality. It is essential to streamline our effort and focus on the area that we could make the significant impact. My second burden is the burden of seeking public recognition. This journey is a delicate dance, a balancing act between trying very hard to gain public recognition and at the same time focusing on scaling on the business model that allows us to scale. The pressure to prove ourselves and gain public recognition consumed me. I lost sight of the importance for prioritizations and focus. This clouded my judgment to iterate and shift the focus fast enough for the business model that allowed me to scale. The initial model won us a lot of awards and recognition, nationally and regionally. But it took me 30 months to realize that free business model is not viable yet in Cambodia. Between 2016 and 2018, we offer free accounting software to MSME with the hope to build a bigger and faster customer base that enabled us to leverage on data and financing revenue. At that time, we onboard thousands of MSME and secured strategic partnership with most of the major banks in Cambodia. Despite this achievement, the financial statement that gathered within our software lacked the reliability for financing purpose. We could not leverage on the financing data that we expected for. So with that, we changed the model from free to paid and offer bookkeeping service to address the fundamental challenge that the quality of the financial statement. And again, we found ourselves without the ability to leverage on data and financing revenue. We're becoming like an accounting firm, not a fintech startup. Award and public recognition undoubtedly is positive. Yet it is imperative to acknowledge the sign of failure. When you recognize that early, it allows you to iterate fast enough and allow you to focus on the model that we can scale. The last burden is the most difficult burden, is the burden of emotional responsibility. Running a startup exacts an emotional toll. The fear, the doubt, the sleepless night, the unseen burden that carried not just in the boardroom, but into the quiet moment of reflection. The weight of responsibility for my team livelihood and my family well-being have become a constant companion throughout this journey. The responsibility, the emotional responsibility, is not just painful for entrepreneurs, but it is an integral part of the entrepreneurial journey. So, in closing, my journey so far have been challenging and rewarding. The burden is significant, so the opportunity to make a difference and to contribute toward the development of the Cambodian fintech. Beyond the glamour of dream lie the reality, the weight of personal expectation, the burden of seeking public recognition, and the gravity of emotional responsibility. As we reflect today, it is important to remember that acknowledging this burden is not the sign of weakness, but a catalyst for growth. By embracing the lesson learned, supporting the initiative, the effort, amplifying the impact of pioneers in this field, we can collaboratively shape the country where the benefit of the financial innovation can reach every corner of our society. And thank you very much.